I am one of the examples of sort of an isolated use case, just because I am in university, but it's not, at a facility. I can't just ask the peer across from me or anything like that. And also, I'm mostly using LaTeX as a way to make content accessible to a blind student. And the very few amount of people, the three of us that there are probably across, North America, we sort of have just learned one thing at a time. It's sort of just, how do I do a fraction? Like that was my first question. If there was here's how to do LaTeX, here's your quick reference guide for basic stuff, here you go. I can imagine that being a huge help early on.
I'm lost for words in the sense that you've very clearly and hopefully described what your actual experience is. And I feel somewhat inadequate to think how people like you could be helped.
Well, yep, go ahead.
I was going to try and play back to you what I've heard. There's a problem of social isolation in terms of not knowing other LaTeX users. There may be a problem of sort of buddying and mentoring. And there's a problem of having instructional material that's specific, that focuses on the task you have. So often a comprehensive reference guide is not helpful to beginners. So you come back to me, Tate, if you want to, and anybody else can follow Tate if they want to.
So quick question, you're saying that what I described as like a reference guide, you think that would not be helpful to beginners?
I think it would have to be very carefully done in the sense that it could be hundreds and hundreds of pages, but the pages have to be readable independently.
Yeah, so this is what I mean. Yes, this is what I mean about sort of a starter's guide. When I say reference, I mean very, very simple things. We're not talking a comprehensive guide. Just here's how you get started. I think that's what you're trying to do here. Is you're trying to have sort of hey, you're beginning. This is what you need to know. Am I correct in that?
So how about? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how I learned to cook. I know because I was a bookish sort of person, reading books was a large part of it. And I'm sure my mother must have shown me things as well, but I don't remember that. I probably learned a lot by watching my mother. And in some sense, the recipe book is really good. I mean, a recipe book sort of begins with, oh, this is all about Indian food. Then it explains the terms. And then you've got a bunch of recipes. And, you read the first 5 pages, and then you can go to wherever you want. And some sort of similar recipe book for LaTeX, if it doesn't already exist, might be really useful. So I think a 3-month problem, a 3-month task, would be to what's the word? Curate is a word I like. It's what librarians do. Librarians curate the content. Curate LaTeX recipe books. Does that feel as though that fits the situation you were in, Tate?
Absolutely, yes.
Excellent. We've got something new. Woohoo! Which is are there any good LaTeX recipe books? Where are they? And so forth. And that would be helpful. And then the other thing I think you said was the sort of social isolation thing. So that would be, the modern version of that would be meetups, wouldn't it? I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally where people meet up. But for something like, tech or LaTeX, that it's not something that a town or even city smaller than a few million people is really going to have,
Well, I think that's that's another one, which is Reddit. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
true.
of people use Reddit, and sorry, there must, yeah, here we go. There's a LaTeX Reddit forum that has 34,000 members. So, what's the word? A good question is, what is Reddit/LaTeX good for? And are there alternatives? Well, there's Stack Exchange. So if I wanted to do something in 3 months, contributing to LaTeX Reddit might be one of them, as would be contacting to Stack Exchange. I rather feel that Stack Exchange, tech.stack exchange, and LaTeX Reddit are going to different groups of people. I don't know if anybody else has got a view on this.
I definitely agree with that.
And as a new user of LaTeX, I never used either.
Okay. So what we're looking, does anybody here use Twitter to ask LaTeX questions? Does anybody here use Twitter more than twice a year?
I don't think Twitter is enough, like in the number of characters and even the context, because sometimes even a very simple question demands context and lots of things for you to understand what's the real problem. So as much as I like Twitter and I have lots of fun with it, even with my tech friends, I don't think it's a good medium to help people there. It's good. Sometimes you actually can give some pointers, but it's definitely lots like a first line support, so to speak.
Is there a LaTeX? Can you get tech support via chat?
There's a chat function to Stack Exchange. So there's a chat in the tech community at Stack Exchange, which I occasionally hang out with the guys. So you can get some sort of support, but as I said, sometimes it's good to have context. So users are encouraged to go to the main website and ask proper questions. That's usually the best way to help them.
Right. I think that we've, so to speak, made some progress, and I'm, as usual, encouraged. I'm always an optimist.
I think there's another kind of problem here. I've only been really using LaTeX for about 2 years, and I've had to more or less teach myself how to use it. In fact, when I started, I was remembering from years ago when I was messing with tech. Didn't really use it much, but thought it was cool. So I was working with Word, and it finally occurred to me that why am I using Word when I could use a much better language like LaTeX? Well, I was thinking tech right then. I really wasn't into LaTeX. And I switched over, and it was hard. And I started out by reading the tech book, which helped a lot, but you know, there's a lot in there. And finally, I got onto Tech Shop, and I started to use that, and that really helped me. And so I've evolved to the point where I can almost do what I want to do with the tech, but I know I'm not doing it well. And Stack Exchange is my savior, but not always. And when I'm stuck at Stack Exchange, then I'm stuck. I can't usually find the answer anyplace else. And what I'm getting at here is that I've got a couple of granddaughters in and out of college, and I've tried to get them to try using LaTeX, and they're just not interested in it. And I think part of the reason is that they realize that it's technical. In other words, they have to learn too much in order to use it. Word is much simpler to use. Even though using Word, I have a lot of questions using Word, and usually I can find the answer, but most people probably don't even know how to find the answers on Google with Word. But anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is that people that use LaTeX, like it's been said before, are in universities or technical journals and things like that. And it's very useful for that, especially math. But for the general user, it's a problem to get them to use it, to begin to use it, let alone to learn to use it. So I think there's I kind of relate it to back in the day when I was really into Perl. I thought that Perl was best thing going for programming, and now it's on its way out and it's being replaced by Python. Why? I think the reason is because people find it difficult to learn Perl, not Python. Anyway, those are just some ideas.
I've never learnt Perl, but I did learn Python. Around 2000, I had to decide which language I wanted to use for software development, and Perl, Python, Ruby, Java, I think, were the contenders. And I fairly quickly settled on Python because of the nature of the community and because of its fairly gradual learning curve, which didn't fall out at the end. You know, sometimes things are easy to learn, but they're difficult to use powerfully. Whereas Python seems to go all the way. And I think, William, you've really hit your nail on the head when you say that it's technical, it's too hard. There's a person whose name I forgot and gave a fantastic talk. People don't want to use your software. They want to have used your software. People don't want to drive a car. They want to get somewhere else. People don't want to fly on a plane. They want to get somewhere else. And to illustrate this, he surveyed the audience. How many of you drive a stick shift with the clutch rather than automatic? And many of them, overwhelming majority, preferred the control and precision and everything else that a stick shift gave you over having an automatic car. But the majority of cars sold in North America are automatics because they're more convenient, and people don't want to drive a car. They want to get somewhere else, and they don't care for the superb typographic precision that a stick shift gives you, to mix my metaphors. So I think that's part of the problem that we can't solve in 3 months. And I think it's a really serious problem for the LaTeX community and tech community. But when we are trying to solve problems in 3 months, I think something we should have in the background of our minds. So I'm really grateful to you, William, for expressing it so clearly and based upon experience. Thank you. Can I ask Kelly or Tate if they'd like to chip in? They're the people here, apart from William, who count as beginners.
I don't think I have too much to add to that.
Thank you, Tate.